This episode of the Blerd Mob contains explicit language. While we want everyone to enjoy the show, sometimes we may say things that are not appropriate for all ages. So, in other words, Mom, Dad, Granny, we cussing. Discretion is advised.
They watching cartoon Scooby-Doo. They watching old school Powerpuff.
Chill on the live action Scooby-Doo though, because they can look. Out of all the live action Scooby-Doo projects, they have to watch the Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed.
King G, Gross Side, ENT. Rock with it, rock with it, rock with it, rock with it. Let me pop my shit. Let me pop my shit. Hands up.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Blerd Mob, your hub for all things black and nerdy. I am your host, Foop, joined by my co-host, Ryan. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other streaming service, make sure you hit that follow button so you can get updates from the mob.
And if you lovely nerds and blerds are watching us on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and let us know what you thought about what we discussed today, and turn on those bell notifications for future uploads.
Also, support the mob. Check out our affiliate links in the bio, whether this is if you're listening on our audio platforms or watching this on YouTube. Check out the description and check out those affiliate links. Get you guys some cool stuff like me and Ryan on our Nerd Shrine. But today we are doing episode 25. We're stepping into November. Getting close to the holidays, about to start eating good.
Finna gain that holiday weight.
Finna get that holiday weight and about to start losing money because, you know, when the holidays roll around, it's time to start buying people presents. Brothers, sisters, mamas, daddies, significant others, friends. It's just the holiday season is basically give me your paycheck season. Nah, for real. Finna be out here eating these low vibrational dinners.
Hey, chill out. Bro, that video is so funny, bro.
Low vibrational.
That meal right there, that's low vibrational.
Low vibrational. Have you seen the Young Miami video when she was like low vibration?
Yeah. She funny.
Low vibrations. But I do want to talk about, even though we're in November, I do want to spin the block to Halloween and talk about some of these celebrity Halloween costumes, because hey, the girls came. I
got a top 3, bro. How we doing this?
Man, I got a top 4, but go ahead and do your top 3.
All right, number 1, I got to shout out my true love, the apple of my eye, my everlasting angelic wife-to-be, Chloe Bailey, dressed up as Lola Bunny. She looked gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't even play basketball. I don't watch it, and I would be a Space Jam athlete today if she told me to. Second, I got to shout out Meg. That Miracle outfit was absolutely fire. I know you're gonna talk about it, but that was absolutely fire. And Kevin Hart as Tyrion Lannister. That made me laugh.
That was funny.
That made me laugh.
That was funny. That was so funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
My top 4 is Keke Palmer as Rogue. That's number 1.
I did see that. That was good.
And she made a video that went beside it, but she had like a movie poster set up and stuff, because the thing came from is that it would have been circling on Twitter that everybody thought that Keke Palmer would be a bomb as Rogue. And the fact that she dressed up for Halloween was like icing on the cake. And she looked so good. 2 is Megan Thee Stallion as Mirko, because it fit.
Mirko, go hard.
I also heard that the artist who does My Hero Academia does some of his designs based off of Megan Thee Stallion. So that was dope.
Really, like the actual mangaka, or like one of the supporters or whatever?
I can't remember who exactly. It's one of the artists from
That's
My
still
Hero.
dope. That's
but
dope.
It was cold. 3 is Chloe Bailey as Storm, because that was dope. Gotta give her props for that. Like the Lola Bunny one was cool, but that Storm, and then she had the backdrop, and then she had the costume. It was superb.
I saw that too. It's just the Lola Bunny made my skin melt.
Nah, we know why. We know why you like the man came out of you on that one.
I had to put that on all my social platforms. I'm like, y'all gonna see this. Y'all gonna see this.
My last one is Beyonce and her family doing the Proud Family. I think it was dope, like coming full circle, because it was Destiny's Child and Solange who did the theme song for the Proud Family. And then fast forwarding to the future where her family is basically the Proud Family. Like the twins had dressed up as the twins. Blue Ivy was dressed up as Penny. Jay-Z was Oscar. And then Beyonce being Sugar Mama and Trudy was dope.
That's pretty cool.
So
there were some other hidden gems too. I don't know if you saw Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys did Obito and Lord Beers from Dragon Ball Super. That was cold.
That was cold.
They were cold.
Halle did Avatar.
Yeah.
That was dope. Doja Cat did Animal Crossing, which was different. But Doja Cat always does different stuff. So I appreciate that her costume, like to do Animal Crossing. It fit. Once I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is Doja Cat. But I wouldn't have imagined Doja Cat Halloween costume being Animal Crossing. So it was dope.
Cardi had did a more beautified Marge Simpson.
Oh, Lizzo did Marge Simpson too, and she did the memes. The one, that was dope.
And Mark from RDC World, he did Jiraiya, and that was a cold Jiraiya.
I saw that too. That was dope. Jiraiya. So it's a mix of anime, 90s cartoons, movies, superheroes. I enjoyed. I also enjoyed the one where Keke Palmer did Rapunzel with the 100-foot box braids. That was dope.
I didn't see that one, actually.
You gotta look that up. She made a video for it and everything. But
do I follow Keke on Instagram?
That was cold too.
She be going hard. I ain't gonna cap. Keke Palmer be going hard.
Keke Palmer be out here making her money.
Yeah,
making her money. Like her work ethic is immaculate.
And it's not even that, like, she's definitely one of those working silent types, but you gonna see some of it too. Like, she ain't just like, she out here doing stuff all the time.
Yeah, I love Keke Palmer. I do. But moving away from the Halloween costumes, what else? It's been 2 weeks since our last episode. What else you had going on, Ron?
I've been sacrificing about 5 hours of my life every day to catch up on One Piece. I'm in the Alabasta arc. It has been going well. What else? Oh, I got new Funkos. You're gonna like this one.
Okay, Hawks.
And I got this bloody Levi. So, and the one you got me, I got down with the other Harry Potter stuff.
Okay.
So,
I have I got a Mikasa Funko coming in December.
The one where she's on a smoke cloud like Levi, or the other one?
I can't remember which one, but it's one that I had to pre-order that's coming out in December that I got coming. I haven't bought any new Funkos. I haven't bought anything like for my nerd shrine in a minute. I finally hung up the posters that I bought from DreamCon. Finally got those up.
Oh, you
And
had those for months.
yeah, because I was like, I really want to get frames for them. But then I got impatient and then I found some thumbtacks and I was like, you know what? Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that went. I've also started watching Titans season 4, which dropped on Thursday for anybody last Thursday, November 3rd, for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. They are going dumb.
Mm.
Like, I know I have shit talked Titans before. Because season 1 and season 2 just wasn't cutting it for me. Season 3, despite the storyline, like the villain, I did not like the villain of season 3, but they are actually starting to develop the characters and their powers in a way that just makes sense. And season 4, this one is dark. It's this Brother Blood, Mother Mayhem type situation. Raven using more of her powers. They got me. The first two episodes are bomb. If anybody who was skeptical of Titan season 4, please check it out. This right now has my full stamp of approval. I will check back in as the season goes along whether or not this is worth watching or not.
Oh, since you dropping recommendations, I finally started getting into my music game, and I went back and I gave Working on My Karma by Division a full listen. That gets my gold stamp of approval. I love the entire album. It got different vibes. One song sound like a Bruno Mars song. Another one is giving kind of Usher vibes, and then he got his own spin on all the rest of his music. Division going hard.
Okay.
He going hard.
Well, if you haven't, make sure you check out our mobs monthly. We drop one at the first of the month, every month. So check out our October one. I don't think we had any music recommendations on there, but
no, I don't think so. Not this time.
Actually, since we're in November, we're going to be dropping our fall 2022 playlist this month. So make sure you follow us on Instagram and check that out and see what we got in our top 10. But let's get into our first topic of the day. And it's a big one. Elon Musk has finally closed the deal on buying Twitter. A $44 billion purchase. And there's been some huge changes going down since he has become CEO. He's fired 3 executives. They have laid off roughly 3,700 employees out of the 7,500 that they had. He's talked about lifting Twitter bans on people who have been banned. One of his plans is to create a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints. And with his other plans for Twitter, he has announced that he is going to be selling blue checks on Twitter for $8 a month.
The Blerd mob get verified. We get verified.
So the question, the hot take is paying $8 a month for a blue check worth it? Let's get into it.
So you said a lot, but I'm going to address that hot take. I'm going to say yes. Because the main folks I seen complaining don't even got blue checks. And my whole thing I'll also say is I don't know Twitter verified system, but I know like on Instagram, if you try to go verified, you got to submit like proof of being in like an article or a newspaper, all types of stuff just to validate your identity. And the thing is, you got to get to a certain status to even have proof of evidence like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how far Twitter is going with their verified once Elon alters the system, but paying $8 a month to let other people know that I'm the person you're trying to see. This is the brand or the business that I represent, and I am me. I feel like that's kind of worth it, especially since he said that $8 a month from all the verified users will go towards actually funding the Twitter content creators who are bringing in the money. Because right now, the way he talked about it, seems like they losing money at Twitter. So I thought it
Yeah,
was a nice cycle of it was a nice economy.
I saw that. The counter arguments that I saw is that you get into people who we've seen on Twitter, people making fake accounts pretending to be the original source
Mm-hmm.
of it. So my biggest example of this is that when the Ant-Man trailer dropped, Marvel Studios had dropped it, and then it was another Twitter account called Marvel Studios, but they added an extra I in their name. And but if you don't, really analyze it, you would think that they were Marvel Studios. So
Mm-hmm.
it might, the counter argument is, what if that account buys them a blue check, and everybody, and now if you don't pay attention, you would think that that's the actual Marvel Studios account instead of the verified one. So it went in. That was one of the counter arguments of my um thing is I guess it's going back to what being verified on Twitter meant. Because now we had the old interpretation and now we have the new interpretation. The old interpretation was like, you know, this is a reliable source. This is who, and then for celebrities, this is the official Rihanna account. This is the official Beyonce account. Or this is the or if when it came to news sources, if they had the blue check, then you know that the information that they have is credible, versus you have some blog sites that don't have the blue check, which gives you that caution that this information could or could not be true. So then, but then we go into the new interpretation of it, where we're looking at it is that you get the blue check, you official. Like, I'm big shit with having this blue check. So what happens when everybody gets a blue check? Or what does being Twitter verified mean if everybody now has the ability to pay for a blue check?
So I'm pretty sure they're still gonna have to validate your identity. Like I think on Instagram verified, you even got to do your driver's license or driver's license number or something, or like a corporate ID, some stuff like that. So if they still make it to where you have to provide a lot of information to verify who you are, verify that you're the industry, I don't think it would really upset nothing. I don't think anybody's going to be able to hop on Marvel and be like, hey, we're the real Marvel, unless people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like companies like that and the actual celebrities who got money, they ain't gonna be afraid to throw $8 a month for Twitter.
That's
Plus,
if he even makes them pay.
he
Because I guess my counter argument to that is, what happens to people who are already verified?
he said they're gonna have to pay too, or they lose it.
Okay.
So if he makes them pay and say they don't, I don't think a fake, for example, we was talking about, I don't think like a fake Beyonce is going to be able to pay for Twitter Blue, I mean not Twitter Blue, verified, and be like, I'm the real Beyonce, and they don't have any information, no articles, nothing to prove who they are. Like, I'm even pretty sure that previously verified accounts, I'm pretty sure, like, Elon's a tech guy. He done
I
already been a CEO for multiple companies. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a system that is like, this is a previously verified person, their subscription just ended, to even keep track of that stuff.
I guess the way he promoted it. Now, if they have something on the back end, a process, if they continue to have the verification process, and they are just opening the door that if you pay this money, you can go through this verification process and get you a blue check. But I guess the way that he promoted it was like, yeah, y'all pay $8 and get a blue check. No, he it didn't come. The message didn't come with, oh, you still gotta, be verified, or this is the process, etc., etc. It just sounded like, pay $8, come get this blue check.
See, the way I read it, the way I understood it, it was like everybody who already got a blue check, if you want to keep it, you finna pay for it. but I didn't ever get the idea that everybody who just finna make a spam account, fake accounts, and all that is just finna have easy access to a blue check. Regular people may have easier access, but I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if it's like license number. Do you got to provide, similar to Instagram, you got to show that you was in an article, your old Facebook pages. I don't know how that's going to work. But I don't know. It's going to build up Twitter's economy. He also talked about other benefits like priority on messages and some other
and
stuff.
replies. You get less ads, things like that. So I see the benefits, but I also see the counter arguments. But I think it's just as long as they keep the process of like, y'all just can't pay $8 from no blue check. Like we not Oprah out here just passing out blue checks. Like you still have to go through some process to get it. Then I just see it as an opportunity of, if you feel like you don't have to, whatever the verification phase for Twitter is now, is that process is gone. And if it meant that you had to be like big shit, like you had to be high enough to where they reach out to you and be like, hey, we'll give you a blue check, then that's I see it as pretty dope, because it's going back to the counter argument, but this kind of invalidates it, is that you have so many people online pretending to be other people. Like, this is your chance to hop on it and be like, nah,
I am who I am.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead and get that blue check, to know that not only that, you're credible, but like, they know that when I tweet from my account with a blue check, this is me. I said this shit. Ain't nobody said this shit for me.
Now, how do you feel? Now, we understand how industry works.
Mm-hmm.
When one company does something, all the other companies in that industry going to do it. We was talking about in the last episode with getting rid of the charging ports and aux jacks with Apple, and all the other phone companies follow through. What would happen if Meta says, hey, Facebook and Instagram, y'all want a blue check, better pay for it? What happens when TikTok, hey, do TikTok even got verified accounts?
Yeah, they do. You can get a blue check.
What if TikTok be like, hey, you want that check? Gotta go in and pay. Now everybody got like $30 total subscriptions to make sure they is who they is on all platforms.
But I guess it would depend, because along with Elon's statement of paying $8 to get a blue check, it also came with benefits. Mm-hmm. So is Meta going to give me a blue check with some type of benefits? Is TikTok going to give me a blue check, and when I post something, they push my content to the forefront? Because we know how the TikTok algorithm works. If I give TikTok money for this blue check, is my content going to be prioritized when I post something? Or with Instagram, if I get a blue check, do I still have to pay to promote my shit? And or do I have more customization options when it comes to my business profile and stuff like that? So it really, like,
makes sense.
I don't mind if Meta, TikTok, all these other companies came out with, hey, if you pay this amount of money to be verified, I would look at the benefits. And if the benefits are worth it, then I don't see a problem with, going out and buying a blue check, because I get these benefits. Especially with being a content creator, you have to look at the benefits of paying this money to get this blue check is going to give that push that your content needs. Why not?
Exactly. But I will say, Meta, the way they handle Instagram's blue checks, I don't be on Facebook enough, they pretty much give those same benefits. Like, if you go to any blue check person's account, you're going to see like all the 20 blue check folks who done commented 3 fire emojis and you lit, bro. And then after those 20 comments, it's the regular people. It's the peasants. So Meta already somewhat offers that. And I think, aside from like trying to get Twitter some money, it seems like Elon really trying to get their advertisements together, because he was putting out tweets to advertisers saying, hey, it's not going to be anarchy up in here. We still moderating. and a whole lot of other stuff. So I'm interested to see where he goes with this, because he is a businessman. Like him or hate him, he ran SpaceX, he ran Tesla, and they're still wildly successful.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of comments about basically this app is gonna go, and I'm not seeing any positive feedback with how Twitter is going. But I think it might just be one of those things, and we've talked about this with the Warner Brothers Discovery partnership, merger, that this may be one of those things that we just have to wait and see. But I would say that besides the blue check announcement, like, some of this news isn't all positive, like the layoffs. I've seen people on Twitter, like, I've seen retweets of people who used to work at Twitter talking about how they got laid off, they got locked out of their computer and things like that. And I mean, like, business is business, but I guess with everything being so public, it's not looking like it's positive at the moment. Not saying that it won't be positive, but
well, that's part of the issue with how people are presenting the information, because it depends on where you're going. Because when you look at the Twitter email, it mentions like today's your last day working at the company. However, you'll be employed by Twitter and receive compensation and benefits through February 2nd of the next year, which a lot of companies, they do have layoffs where they have severance plans. And then I don't know how valid this is, but Elon also tweeted everyone was offered 3 months of severance, which is 50% more than what's legally required.
And I think that's fine, but I think it's the way I saw that, but I also saw that people were getting locked out of their work emails and their work computers 12 hours, 8 hours before even getting that email. So, yes, you got fired and got these benefits, but at the same time, it's how. I think the big thing is how they did it.
It's like, I can see it, but
I'm just, but like, I guess putting yourself in their shoes, like, your job, because you work remote, right? You wake up one morning, you can't log into your computer, your badge not working, you don't know what's going on. But nobody's telling you nothing or anything like that. And then 12 to 8 hours later, after you done sat there confused of why you can't log into your computer, then you get an email saying that you've been laid off. And yes, they gave you all of these benefits, but it's kind of like, okay.
It's like morally, I see the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, morally, I see how that can upset some people and hurt their feelings. But ethically, he still went above and beyond in terms of like the severance packages. And then two, a lot of companies, this is what you come to expect. Every CEO, every new company founder, when they move in, other folks move out, they bring their people. Even below executive levels, if you work at any corporate company, even when a program manager comes in and is over a whole new project, he's like, or she's like, or they're like, hey, these are my people. I've worked with them. I trust them. They're coming in. This is the new person to handle the financials. This is the new person to handle IT. You other folks, y'all got to find something else to do. Like, it sucks, but at the same time, it's business.
Do me a favor right quick.
What's up?
Cut your mic down. You is screaming in my ear right now.
Oh, bet. My bad. Still sound good?
Yeah, you good.
But yeah, it's business. Like, morally, I definitely see why people get upset. But it's like, ethically, like, it's November, December, January, February. You're still on the payroll, still getting benefits, can still apply for a new job. I mean, that's as good as it get compared to other jobs.
I get it. I get it. I think I'm just looking at the moral aspect. Like, if I don't know, business is business. Maybe they were trying to get, I don't know. I just see it's like it's a whole bunch of chaos going down at Twitter headquarters right now. And it could have been that everybody was supposed to get a formal email and maybe somebody else got the wrong message that they were supposed to shut everybody's stuff off. And then it's like, why you didn't shut everybody's stuff off? We wanted to send them the email first. So I can see it from that point of view too, with like all of these changes happening and all of this information not like being in one spot or coming from one person, or the people who were supposed to be regulating this stuff then got laid off. You see what I'm like? I can understand from that perspective that with everything going on, all of these changes coming back to back from Twitter, I can see where some of the frustration is coming from with the people who work there.
And it's also like the fact that it's all over social media kind of, I would say, alters what's really going on anyway. Because the fact that it's a whole social platform, everybody talking about it, you got Forbes, Business Insider, Washington Post, like everybody's talking about this. So it's like half of it is like, do we even know what's going on Twitter? Because this could have been some IT guy's fault. Some IT guy probably pressed the wrong button and turned off folks' computers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it could have just, like, with everything going on, like, do the people who are still at Twitter have, like, proper direction? Are they getting the right messages? Because the message could have been, hey, we're going to send out these emails. After we send out these emails, we're going to shut somebody's computers off. But we all know how information trickles down, and the IT company would have been like, oh, shut it down, and, you know, press the button. And I can see it from that point of view, but at the same time, it's kind of like, yo, this is kind of seeing it from, we don't know what's actually happened. We could assume that might have happened, but it also could have just been, yeah, you getting fired, cut his stuff off, we'll send him an email a couple hours later. It could have been that too.
Yeah, but if you was a software engineer at Twitter, that's pretty good on your resume. That's pretty good on the resume. I don't think you're gonna struggle for a new job.
We're having this whole conversation just to say that the future of Twitter is unknown, but get your blue check if you want it. The only thing we know going forward is that you can pay $8 a month to get you a blue check. It's rumors of bans finna get lifted and all that other stuff. I guess we are just going to have to wait and see what's
Twitter
next.
Be fun.
But Twitter finna go back to 2009 Twitter. It's finna get malicious in here. My only hope is that, because I can see, if we want to talk about the ban lift, I can only see the ban lift being as, you know, when you get a new head of something, they might want to, you know, wipe out the policies that were in place for the previous guy. So, you know, you got this happened under this guy, so I'm coming in, I don't want to do that, or something like that.
Well, he did tweet that he's not immediately ending anything yet. Like he put out, like, I know a lot of people, like, you know, Ye been saying some funny stuff online, funny bad, but that account actually came back already. It was just the timing seemed like Elon did it, but Elon even tweeted like, we ain't lifting no bans that are already out.
I didn't say he started. I'm just saying that the fact that he put out the statement that they would potentially lift some of the bans could just go into the fact that him stepping into the position as CEO, this is just might be something that is him. Like you got banned under this person's jurisdiction. I'm in here now. Let me review the terms of why you got banned. And if I don't agree with them, I might lift your ban. You see what I'm saying?
To be honest, I love it though, because the part where he mentioned, like, we're making an organization with a lot of diverse viewpoints, like, I don't necessarily know the cultural politics at Twitter. Obviously, anybody can assume and all that good stuff. But him saying that, hey, we're going to have diverse viewpoints. It's not going to be people with one ideology or one mindset or one view that's determining who can speak freely on Twitter and who can't. When you say we got people on this side of the spectrum and this side of the spectrum and in the middle all coming together to decide this type of stuff, I feel like it's more fair. Seems like he's going to make it more balanced. He could just be selling us some BS. But if I'm going to take him seriously, if I'm going to take his word for what it is, because it's not like I can take anybody else's word over him. He's the owner now. It looks good to me. The future of Twitter looks nice in my eyes.
It seems questionable to me because I would like to know what is Elon's definition of diverse, and
Yeah.
I would like to know what if he's going to go in as CEO, if he's going to change some stuff around. I'm interested to see what's going to be changed as it comes to, because we have, and we've said this before, we have free speech, but there's also you also have consequences following behind that. So yes, you are pushing your ideology that Twitter is going to be this area of free speech, but what's going to be your policies in place when people go and say some off the wall stuff?
Well, then that's the funny part, because it's like that's always been the rule. Like, free speech in America is free speech. You can say whatever you want to say on the side of the road, but if it hurts somebody and some other stuff, you can get arrested. But the government protects your rights. But once you're on a platform, private entity, the CEO determines what's free speech. Elon could cancel, but that was prior to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always been like that. The only reason it's questionable now is because it depends on people's opinions of Elon, really. Like, if you like Elon, you're probably loving this. If you don't care for Elon, you're probably like, I'm scared now. You know what I'm saying? That's really all it is compared to the previous Twitter CEO.
Yeah. I feel you. Maybe, and it could just be those viewpoints, or it could just be, with any type changes, like with Twitter being this major social network. When you bring in a new CEO, even if it wasn't Elon, if Twitter said they were going under another CEO, I think we all still will be waiting on what changes come from under this new CEO. What's there, and I guess in whatever statements they've been promising, like what's this definition of diversity? What does these bans mean to you? What policies are you going to put in place to see? Are you going to keep the previous guy's policy, or are you going to change some things up? So I see it from some people are nervous because of their viewpoints of Elon. I'm just seeing it from the fact that you're switching over the head honcho and looking at what's already been happening with him being CEO. What's next?
Yeah. It's interesting. If 10 was green and 1 was red, like, I'm really for this as a 10 or I'm really against this as a 1, where you sitting at?
I think I'm like at a 6 or a 7. Like, I can see how this might be really bad. And Elon's promising some stuff that's not bad either. But I guess I'm an execution person. Like, you can talk all that rah-rah in my ear as long as you want to. You can make as many tweets as you want to, but I have to see it. So we gonna see if he can walk the talk he's been talking. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Walk that talk he been talking. Bars.
We're gonna see if he can walk it like he talking.
Ooh.
But,
amigos. Ooh.
Yeah. That Takeoff news was sad.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I'm happy that nobody, like, I guess the thing with celebrity deaths is that they're always, like, with media now, with everything being so public, everybody is like, when is so-and-so gonna say something? They was best friends, they was buddies. And I like that people who are close to Takeoff hasn't, like, well, Quavo and Offset specifically, I haven't seen anything about them saying a statement or putting something out to the public on it. And it's like, y'all do know that they don't have to tell y'all anything, that they don't have, let these folks grieve how they want to grieve. And I think everybody, like the people who are looking for them to say something, I wish you guys will understand that everything doesn't have to be public. You know what I'm saying?
It gets messed up because you see fans and like regular, I call them internet people, who feel like a celebrity just owes you their life. But it's like, bro, these folks are related. These folks been close friends for the longest. I know we we talked about the Migos breaking up, but they experienced the death, bro. Like, and one of them was there. Like, let them. They probably ain't gonna talk about this for months. Like, let them live.
Right.
Like, don't even ask them for anything. Don't bring that up in no interview. Like, I see how death in a family affects me. I wouldn't want to be asked about something like that for at least a couple of years because that's traumatizing.
Yeah. And I guess we see it so much, and I feel like maybe that's what it is. The celebrities feel like they need to say something about it. You guys don't need to say anything about it. So I am happy that, because with it being so recent, that they haven't felt the need to say, because we haven't seen anything. I'm going to assume that they don't feel the need to address the public on it. And
yeah, deal with your pain in private. Heal.
That is fine with me. But moving on to our next topic, we got another CEO change in a major industry. James Gunn, who you guys know, who is responsible for the Guardians of the Galaxy project at Marvel, as well as the new Suicide Squad movie and Peacemaker, is co-CEO of DC. What are they calling it now? DC Studios, alongside Peter Safran, which I've learned is the producer behind Aquaman and the Conjuring franchise. So they are both co-CEOs of DC Studios.
That's some unique job experience. Aquaman and The Conjuring, like I like. That's very unique.
For real though. But I think The Conjuring is under Warner Brothers, so I guess it makes a bit of sense. But
yeah.
When this news came out, I remember you asked, like, what does co-CEO mean?
Right.
And the only way that I took the news is that that James Gunn was going to be over a subset of things, and then Peter Safran was going to be a subset of things. And after doing my research, this is the case. I was reading on IGN that James Gunn is going to be over DC movies, TV shows, and animation. And Safran is going to be over like the business side of it. So I guess that includes like financials and things like that.
Sounds like Safran should have been the
splitting.
CFO then, Chief Financial Officer.
What it sounds like to me is that because it's James Gunn and he already has some projects under his belt, that my opinion is that James Gunn wasn't originally supposed to be CEO. And I feel like he wouldn't take any other position but CEO. So they was like, okay, we're going to make you guys co-CEOs.
Yeah, like the work he does, that sounds like executive or director of entertainment or something of that nature. Because a CFO, Chief Financial Officer, it makes sense for them to step into the CEO role since they got to manage all the business. So it's like,
yeah. I don't know what went on in the room where they negotiated these titles, but that's how they said they're gonna split it. I also heard that James Gunn is going to continue to direct projects exclusively for DC, with the deal expected to last at least 4 years. So I'm bringing up this statement because this is going back to the thing where Warner Brothers Discovery said they have a 10-year plan for DC content. So it looks like, based off this news, possibly 4 of those years is going to belong to James Gunn. And I am interested to see how James Gunn is going to tap into the DC universe and what story he's going to tell. Like, we've seen Suicide Squad, and I like the new Suicide Squad movie, but it felt like Guardians of the Galaxy. And Peacemaker kind of felt like that too. And it was funny. It had the comedy aspects, but what does a James Gunn DC Universe vision looks like when you have to include Superman, which we know that Henry Cavill is coming back into the fold as Superman. What does that look like for characters like Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, and whoever else they plan on including in this new DC universe?
And I know we're gonna do our mob review. James Gunn wasn't too involved with the Black Adam movie, was he?
No.
See, I don't know, because you're naming a lot of, well, Suicide Squad had dark moments, but it's like, I hope that they still manage. I hope that he does enough to still give DC its identity, and they finally get off of Marvel's I can't say that, that's
Coattails.
inappropriate. Coattails. There we go. That's appropriate. I hope that they ain't just, I hope they just aren't sitting here like, okay, we got to be the lighthearted, still fun, still actiony Marvel. We got to be the DC version of that. I hope that they still maintain that side of DC, that identity that is dark and gritty and rough. Like, I like having the opposite end of the coin. I don't want two heads. Like,
I
I
would
don't know.
only say, because I'm a big DC fan and I've read, and this was my issue for the DCEU before James Gunn even stepped into the fold, was that there are so many stories inside of DC that Warner Brothers could expand on and build their universe around. And I'm curious to know what stories he's going to tap in to build out this universe and how true to those stories he's going to stick to it.
Right.
Because if we want to go into his success with Guardians of the Galaxy was his piece inside of a larger piece. So the larger piece was already planned out. He was just, filling in his role inside of that big picture.
Right.
James Gunn, with him being CEO, now owns that whole picture. He owns that whole vision of what the DC universe is going to look like moving forward.
And he's over animation too, so I wonder how is he going to move forward with the animated movies and the animated series? How many more are they going to make? Are they going to integrate that in a Cartoon Network? Like, because it's not just the cinema part; it's everything, huh?
It's movies, TV shows, and animation. And I'm not really sure how the animation is going to go, because we talked about this in the last episode with them merging Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers. So now with them sharing production teams and stuff, I would like to know what his priority is, because
Right.
I've seen James Gunn produce movies, and we've seen Peacemaker, which James Gunn is also responsible for. So we've seen movies and we've seen TV shows, but we haven't seen what animation is going to look like under him. And it could be that, I don't know, he could put somebody else in charge of animation, because since the animation and the movies and the TV shows aren't linked like that, like they exist in their own realm, I guess I'm curious to see how he's going to do the movies and the TV shows. Like, is he going to do like a Marvel thing where you guys got to watch these movies and you guys got to be familiar with these TV shows to understand what's coming next?
Right.
So,
and to be honest, I'd rather he keep it more so episodic, because so far the episodic stuff for DC, at least the DCEU, has been working. At least for me. Even when it comes to the animated movies, allowing, like, here's a story here, here's a story here, here's a world over there. Even if you miss these other two, you can still enjoy this third one. You know what I mean? I kind of like that trend. It's different. It's unique.
like I said, I'm just interested to see what he does with it. I think that Warner Brothers Discovery is really focused on building out a DC universe, because they have not successfully done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think they're focused on making a united universe, because they know they have all these characters and they know they have all these stories that they could tell. It would only make sense for you guys to build out a universe. So I'm interested to see what a James Gunn, Peter Safran DC universe looks like. What characters are going to be highlighted? We know that Superman is coming back, but who's going to be the next Batman standing beside him? Are they going to keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman? Are they going to keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman? And, things like that. Like, who's going to be the next Flash following all the controversy surrounding Ezra?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what characters they focus on. Is the Justice League going to be a focus? Or are they going to say, okay, we're tired of the Justice League and we move on to some other superhero group, the JSA, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I guess the other thing that came with this news is that it was stated that not every DC project is going to go under James Gunn. So specific examples that they pulled out was Todd Phillips' Joker is going to exist outside of that. Matt Reeves' Batman with Robert Pattinson and them are
Thank
going.
God.
Is they said it's in a gray area, but it sounds like that's not going to go under them either. So,
Rob Patterson's Batman. I need 2 more movies. I need this to be like my new Dark Knight trilogy for me.
They need to give him a trilogy and call it a day.
Yeah, you saw my review for the Batman. I absolutely loved it. I need trilogy that man. Let him get what he deserves and do whatever y'all want in the other end. Because this was a hit for me. This was a hit, and the Joker movie. Those are hits for me.
I think it would just depend on how well they execute. Now, another execution thing is how well can James Gunn and Peter Safran execute their vision for the DC universe. Because I feel like Warner Brothers started investing in outside movies like the Joker and the Batman because the stuff that they were making inside of the DCEU wasn't getting them what they wanted. So, okay, let's make this off the books Joker movie. Let's make this off the books the Batman movie, while we try to figure out what's going on inside of this universe.
Right.
And I feel like now that they have done it and both of those projects made bank, they're gonna want to keep that bank. So they're gonna let that drag on. But it's just what happens after, the Batman trilogy is done. What happens after they finish making the Joker movies that they've signed up for. We gonna see.
All right, Warner Brothers.
I'm still not sure if this is a positive yet. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what they got planned. Before we move into our last topic of this episode, I just want to remind you guys to support the mob. Check out our affiliate links in the description, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check those links out. Get you guys some cool stuff for your nerd shrine, your room, your desk, wherever you're keeping your nerd collectibles. Go ahead and get you some more stuff. The last topic I want to move into is the animation industry. So this is stemming off of a couple days ago, the CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek. I don't know.
Forgive us if we messed it up.
Yeah. I probably should. Whatever. Whichever one is right, that's what I meant. And if it's wrong, then I apologize. I don't know how to say his last name. He went to some tech conference. Here we go. Wall Street Journal's Tech Live conference. And while he was discussing Disney Plus, he made a statement that our fans and audiences put their kids to bed at night after watching Pinocchio, Dumbo, or The Little Mermaid. Then they're probably not going to tune into another animated movie. They want something for them. So this is what I want to focus on is basically like the future of the animation industry and the value that some of these companies are seeing in the animation industry. Like we talked about this last episode where Cartoon Network had dropped 20, where Warner Brothers had dropped 20 original animated content that was on Cartoon Network. We're seeing all of these live action revamps of cartoons that we've watched in the past. Like I saw something today. They're making a live action Fairly Odd Parents. Why?
They already did that, and it was not good. They used the Drake and Josh dude, who played Drake, to be the main character.
That was the movies. I thought that was the movies.
Oh, so they're doing a series now.
This is a series. I remember this. Though, when they announced that they were doing a live action Fairly Odd Parents, and I think today is when I saw the trailer for it. But it's like things like that. Like if you wanted to revamp Fairly Odd Parents, why not just make it animated? What is the push for making it live action? Why aren't we making animated content? Why are we scrapping animated content? Another example is Disney Channel had canceled a show. I've mentioned this before, but I watched a show called Owl House. Disney canceled it, and for season 3, we are only getting 3 less than an hour episodes of the last season of the show. So when episode 1 dropped, they didn't even put it on Disney Channel. They put this on the Disney Channel YouTube channel. So that's where I watched it. The views on that episode was so high that they regret. I saw a tweet saying that they now regret canceling that show. Like, how did you guys not think that? Like, where's the value? Where's the value in animation going in the future?
How old is the CEO of Disney right now? Because he out of touch. You can't. Who is watching Rick and Morty? Who is the reason that the Simpsons, Family Guy, and American Dad doing so big?
But okay, so let's talk about that. But that is animated on a comedic level. Like, I think when we talk about adult animation, we always talk about Rick and Morty, Family Guy, American Dad, but it's on a comedic level. If we want to talk about adult animation, which is going to further prove your point of why animation is important for all ages. Let's talk about adult animation that broke the mold of comedic. Invincible, Vox Machina, The Boys Diabolical, Arcane. And think of how big those projects were when it came to adult watchers.
Even on top of that, the way we rate TV series, if you ever notice how, like, even anime in Japan, we call some of their shows TV-14, but when they make their anime, they'll still have like sexual themes, cursing, more mature themes, and stuff of that nature. And it is still widespread. There's a boom of that in America. Look at all the animated movies that are making a lot of money. It's not just kids watching this. This is mostly adults.
Exactly. So I don't understand. Maybe he meant that. Maybe I don't know. If I had to defend that statement, I can only see that he meant that Disney has been known for making a lot of, family-friendly content. Like, you can watch it, your parents can watch it, your grandma can watch it. And maybe he's just saying that with Disney Plus being a streaming service, and like with the Marvel content they didn't put out, the fact that they've added in the parental controls to add the Netflix Marvel content like Daredevil and stuff that was mature, that maybe this is their chance to continue pushing that to make more rated R content for adults. If I had to defend the statement, that might have been what he meant, but the way he said it made it seem like that adults don't watch cartoons. And I looked at it and I was like, this must be why I saw all these grown ass adults when I went to Orlando last summer.
I wonder why Disney World had way more adults than kids, and I'm talking 30-year-olds out, 40, 50-year-olds out there with their spouses enjoying themselves.
Like, if you went to YouTube right now and looked up Disney vlogs, my trip
deep
to
dive,
Disney,
what to do.
It's gonna be grown-ups. It's going to be grown-ups. It's not gonna be kids, bro.
Like, bro, like, what? Who is buying even when it comes to paraphernalia and merch, who do you think buys all these Funkos? Like, there's cartoon Funkos too for all these different cartoons. Who do you think are the people that invest into the brand?
And And we've talked about this on the episode before about how certain people see animation as less because they associate it with kids. And I don't know if it's just that companies are pushing on that. If that's just an ideology that everybody has, that animation is for kids, live action is for adults. I don't know where that separation came from, but I've just been seeing a lot when it comes to animation, with shows getting canceled and like animated favorites becoming live action. The Disney CEO saying that adults don't want to watch cartoons. It's just, put some respect on my animated content, because where is this coming from?
It got to be some old folk stuff, bro. Like I ain't trying to attack boomers and all of them, but this some old folk stuff. Like, like how could you? Here's a perfect example, bro. I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender episodically back when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It came back on Netflix. Netflix got the rights, Avatar animation and Legend of Korra, and it boomed all over social media. That led to Avatar Studios and all of them saying, hey, we got an audience who loves our project, our animated project, this much, to where we're finna expand this off into more books, more movies, more series, etc. That ain't 8-year-olds and 12-year-olds supporting that.
It definitely was not. It was grown. It was me. It was me binge watching Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. Look out. I don't know. I would like to do some research, because I think we've asked this before. Like, who was the audience of animated content going forward? Like, when these companies go into, oh, we want to make some animated content, and they look at the audience, is if they were trying to make this for kids, but let's hypothetically say that the stats of children today are watching less cartoons than we were back in the gap. Are those the type of stats that are making the decisions that, oh, we don't need to make this animated, because if we want to reach the younger audience, they're not going to watch it. Our stats are going to turn out to be a bunch of 25 to 30-year-olds watching the show, and this wasn't for y'all.
But then at the same time, we're the adults. We're the ones complaining about it. We're the ones who are saying, don't make it live action. We were the ones who watched Sonic and said, why don't Sonic look like video game Sonic?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when they made, let's hop on your Sonic example. When they decided to make a Sonic movie, was the audience being us who played the Sonic games when we were younger, who watched the Sonic cartoons when we were younger, or were they trying to make a movie to bring in new audiences that didn't get that exposure to Sonic? And if the stats and if the data said that more children are able to latch on to something through a live action spectacle than making it animated, then that could have been the data that they used to make a live action Sonic, which gave us the stuff that we got.
I listen, bro. I don't know, but I'ma say this. I'ma say this. When I was a kid, even then, you know what I enjoyed as a kid? Trying to watch the stuff that the adults are watching. When I was a kid, I was trying to watch the game on BET and stuff. Like, yeah, I enjoyed cartoons, but you want to know when I started to invest into the brands, when I started to support the brands, buy products, buy merch, which is how these cartoons even make more money and everything over on long term. When I became an adult and I was going off of not only this nostalgia, but pure interest. When I was discovering new stuff.
But it could also be that when we were younger, is that a lot of stuff was presented to us in an animated form. And let's talk about how some stuff is presented to kids now. We got live action Lion Kings, live action Aladdin's, and live action this and live action that. So if their parents weren't showing them the animated stuff before they went to go see the live action, then at this point, as you get older, you're going to latch on to this live action stuff. like how we're latching on to animated content because when we were younger, that's all we were doing was watching cartoons.
Listen, bro. If I have kids, they watching Naruto and not the live action. they watching cartoon Scooby Doo. They watching old school Powerpuff.
Chill on the live action Scooby Doo though, because they can look. Out of all the live action Scooby Doo projects, they have to watch the Scooby Doo and Scooby Doo Monsters Unleashed. I'm gonna let that slide. You're not gonna take that from me.
You right. I misspoke. My kids, that's one of the few live actions they'll watch. But they watching cartoons.
Hey, but listen, you watching Lion King, Simba's Pride, and Lion King 1.5 before you even touch
1.5 was cold. I like 1.5.
Before you even touch Beyonce and them. You watching them animated before you even touch Beyonce and them. But
my kids gotta go through a rite of passage. Earn your way up here.
See, maybe I'll look this up and let you guys know. But I would like to see the data of what percentage of kids are watching animated content. Because if the numbers are low, then I guess I understand why there's not a big focus on animated content.
I'll be interested to see, but I want to see if there was a shift too. Because I'm just saying, bro, like, the way these movies are coming into theaters, animated, like, one of the big three got a One Piece movie come, like, in theaters now, bro.
But the only counter argument, this is my counter argument today. Your examples have been anime. We're talking about American animation that's getting shit on.
Even then, it's only. I'll say this. Because
answer my question. When was the last animated American animation movie that just boomed in the theaters?
That was American animated. That was animated by Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I thought I was going. You got me. But is whose fault is that? The folks in Hollywood.
But it goes back to my point of who is the focus. Who is the focus?
But even if you try to say who's your focus, like I just saw the trailer for the Dungeons and Dragons live action. I was watching. I was like, it looks cool. They could just made Vox Machina live action, or if anything, they could have made this animated and just had another Dungeons and Dragons animated movie, and that probably would have done even better. But we'll probably do better.
But it just goes back to what's the focus, because they could easily make it animated, but who is the audience? And if they believe that the audience for animated content is kids, and once you become an adult, animation not your focus no more. But I'm gonna say this: the Blerd mob is watching the cartoons, the animated content.
We watch cartoons.
We watch cartoons, and y'all need to put some respect on my animated content. Facts. Because I swear, if I wake up one day and say that Arcane not coming back, Invincible not coming back.
Ooh, I've been waiting on Invincible.
It's going listen, if I wake up one day and y'all said y'all not bringing back that Avatar animated content, it's gonna be war.
You finna see some riots.
I go to war for it.
Look, you finna see a lot of stuff on Twitter coming from me, and I ain't getting banned for it. I'm finna talk about this.
I got my blue check. I'm verified.
Right? You finna see. You finna hear from me.
You finna feel me.
Oh man.
But that is all the time that we have for today. So I want to thank you, Ron, for joining me on another episode of the Blerd Mob Podcast. I would like to thank everybody who's been listening to us, whether this is your first time or your 50th time listening. Thank you. We appreciate the watches and the listens, the interactions, the comments, all of it. We greatly appreciate it. Follow us on our social media. We are on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. We are on Twitter at the Blerd Mob. You can find us, if you're listening to this, you can find us on YouTube at the Blerd Mob Podcast. You can find us on TikTok at the Blerd Mob Podcast and Facebook at the Blerd Mob Podcast. Also, check out our affiliate links in the description. Get you guys some cool stuff. Get you some Funkos, get you some statues, get you some
manga.
I was about to say, get you some manga. You know, check it out. Support the mob. Get you something cool. And with that being said, I think that's it. So this is the mob checking out. Peace.
Hands up if you loving where you at, stand 10 toes down.